If you're looking to create your own custom TradingView dashboard that looks something like this or something simpler like this, you have come to the right place, because we are going to do that exactly in this video and show you all of the awesome features that you can customize on your own charts and your own layout that you can go back to every single day to do exactly what you need to do. Welcome on into the TC Trading channel. TradingView just released a year-end recap, and I apparently looked at over 40,000 symbols on the year through my custom TradingView layout. So if you are looking for someone who at least has been seeing the charts and knows what to look for and what I like in TradingView, you've definitely come to the right place. But everybody is unique. Everybody has a different way of looking at things, which is why we are going to cover a bunch of different things in this video that allow you to get a really good footing and then pick and choose what you like and how you want to customize your own layout here on TradingView. So what I'm going to do next on my TradingView account, I'm going to go to the product section and type or click on Super Charts. From here, what I'm going to do is I am going to see where it says main layout. I'm going to jump down and I am going to click on create new layout, and I'm going to call this one new 2025. Okay. So you are going to have something that looks like this when you get started. It's going to be kind of your bare bones blank layout. Now, for some, this is actually a really good start, and you don't have to do a lot to customize this to your liking, because you may just want to get a big chart view. But for other people who maybe pay for the premium plans or pay for plans on TradingView, because there is a free version and there are paid versions, which we've outlined in previous videos if you're ever interested in looking at some of the pros and cons of each. If you have more that you can use, you may want to take a peek, or you may want to use some of those features and some of those things. And I'll touch on some of those throughout this video. So what you're going to get on a bare bones chart like this is you're going to have a window, or I guess a bunch of widgets on the left-hand side that will be your cursor. You can turn that to a dot, to an arrow, an eraser, a magic pencil, your trend line tools, lines, rays, horizontal lines, cross lines, pitchforks, and the list goes on and on. Fibonacci's, a lot of different tools on the left-hand side, even text. If I wanted to come in here and add text to my chart so I can mark things up if I was teaching, or if I want to have notes for myself in the future, or from past charting analysis, I can do that. There is a lot on the left-hand side. What you're going to want to do, though, is make sure that you click on the little arrow, you hover over the tool on the left-hand side, and then the arrow to expand to make sure you can see all that you have available to you. Then what you're going to do is you're going to click on the star, and if you star these, you're going to see that they will pop up very, very easily at the top of your screen. So for example, if I was to add something, let me go in here and let me add a Fibonacci retracement. So I don't have the star selected. If I click on the star right here, now it pops it up on the top kind of shortcut toolbar that I have at the top of my screen, which I can drag and drop and put it wherever I want to. I like to keep it at the top right in the middle just for me, because it's easier for me. And I've done so with the brush so I can draw. I've done so with the cursor, my rays, so I can kind of draw a horizontal ray out to the right so I can mark off, highs and lows or key areas of interest for me. We have our trend line like usual, which I like to look at the trend line, which will tell me, points, percentages, all that stuff. And obviously the trend line, the ability to draw the trends. I have my rectangle tool if I want to draw in a box or a zone and keep it nice and consistent. We have, this is our rotated rectangle, which will allow me to essentially, like a trend, more so draw a zone on the chart. So maybe on something like this, you can kind of draw this in and say, okay, here's been your downtrending channel. On Snowflake, this is the ticker symbol. And, I can take a peek at that. It's just some of the things I like to have. And then I have my long position, so I can mark this off, draw out how I would see potential stop loss and targets. I have a horizontal line, a short position, then I just add the Fibonacci retracement, which I don't really use. So I'm going to go back in here and I'm going to get rid of that. So really quick, you kind of see that that's what's given to us on the top. I will talk more about this in just 1 second, but I did want to touch on the right-hand side. So we'll go left side, we'll go right side, and then we'll go top and then bottom before we get into deeper customizations, more advanced customizations. So if I go to the right-hand side, we have the option to touch on some of these different tabs, which the first one up here is the watch list and details. I have my watch list, my main watch list that I can add to. I'll show you how to do that in 1 second. We have whatever stock or symbol you have pulled up on your main screen. which up in the top left I can change. Click on the top left search bar and then start typing in a symbol. If I wanted to type in Tesla, TSLA, enter, boom, we got Tesla. But I also have the option to look at some of the details. You can get some earnings information, some key stats, some key facts, market cap, average volume over the past 30 days. And you can scroll down and see some more information on Tesla, ratings, some details, and so on. That's kind of what you see right there. Then underneath that, you have the tab like the alerts tab. I can mark all my alerts as red, which I'm going to do right now. I have my alerts log, so all the alerts that have gone off right here, and then here are my active alerts, or I guess all of my alerts that I had available or that I have set right now. The plus sign allows me to create an alert. I can also create an alert by control clicking or right clicking on my screen on the chart that I'm looking at on the actual price scale, or right in the middle if I wanted to. But these are something that you have available to. I can easily close out of those and then also adjust. If I just want to drag this middle line right here, I can adjust it left and right. I'm going to leave it where it's at because I have it set to a certain level that I like, but you can adjust that as well. Beyond that, you have this next tab, which is the object tree, which we're looking at Tesla, and the data window. So you can see a lot more detailed data inside of Tesla. And then as you increase or as you load up indicators, it'll show you some of those as well, which we don't really have any on, which we'll add to in just a few minutes. Below that, to the bottom right, as I click out of these, you have this option section, which is a new video in and of itself, very new addition to TradingView, or at least in the past couple of months. You also have a screener tab, which we have a video on screeners on TradingView. We have a calendar tab, so you can see different things that are coming up, which is also really cool. But not a lot of this is custom, or not a lot of this is necessary to our own customizations of our own charts. So I don't want to spend too much time on the community feed, the notifications, or even the chat assistant, which are all available to you in the bottom right. So now that we have understanding of what we have there, let's talk about what's at the top and what's at the bottom of our screen, and we'll customize those as well so we have what we want on our profiles or on our accounts. We talked about the symbol search at the top. If I was talking where if I click on the middle of my chart and I just start typing in any letters, like for example NVDA, it will also allow me to type in and click on enter and then pull up the chart that way. You could also click on the search bar at the top left. It is a small search bar. I find myself doing this just because it's kind of a habit, but you can do either one. You don't even have to click on that. If you just start typing in or letters or numbers or whatever, they will pop up on your charts. I should say letters, not numbers. Numbers will change the time interval of the charts. A bit more advanced, but something that we can talk about. So if I was to jump over to the top, we see we have a 5-minute, 1 hour, 4 hour day. You're not going to see all of those there, or you might see different intervals at the top of the chart because I have customized this to my account. So if I click on the drawdown, where we have the option to change the time intervals, I have starred the time intervals that I like to look at the most. So I would recommend you star the ones you like, or you can even create your own custom interval. Ticks, seconds, minutes, hours. Now, if you are looking at the seconds section, you may need to upgrade your TradingView account. As of when I'm filming this video, you are not able to look at second charts where you're getting ticks every couple of seconds, whatever you would like to look at, unless you have a more premium account. You can't do this on a free account. So for example, if I wanted to go to like every 10 seconds, I can go to a 10-second chart of Tesla. Check this out. Pretty cool. I never look at this stuff because it's way too zoomed in for me, but I can see Tesla's price action on a 10-second chart, which is a lot like a 1-minute chart. You need to make sure there's enough volume every 10 seconds for this to make sense for you, but it's just going to zoom it in. Really, that's what it's going to do. So click on and select the options that you, or the time frames and the intervals that you would like, to look at. Star them, and when you star them, they'll pop up at the top of your screen. If you don't star it, it'll just show up on the right here next to the last, which is the 1-month time frame that I've starred. It'll show up there as the last interval that I've looked at. So I'm going to jump back to the 1 day, and we're good to go. Cool. The next section is going to be the candlesticks, or bar style, I should say. So you might see this, and you might be used to something along the lines of a line chart, or you might be used to something along the lines of an area chart. These are cool and they're helpful, but if you are looking for candlesticks, this is the place to go. So I have candles and volume candle selected, which is kind of a new indicator by TradingView, which will take into account the thickness of the candle, will take into account how much volume occurred on that candlestick, which is pretty cool. But if I go back to normal candlesticks, I have my normal candlesticks, and I can again star the ones that I want to see. Okay, the top we have indicators. I'll talk more about that in a minute. We then have indicator templates, alerts, so we can create alerts this way as well as like I said before, on the alerts tab. So I can create alerts up here at the top. And then I also have a replay feature, which is really, really cool. We have a separate video on this, but you can go back and replay Tesla, which is super, super cool. So you can kind of watch price action, even in practice your trading, however you would like to see fit. And depending upon the time frame, and you can play it out, speed it up, move it along, and it's really cool. So those are what you have at the top. At the bottom, now we have our, I guess I should say, these were our intervals for the candlesticks, and the bottom is our intervals for what we're looking at on the chart. So for example, if I want to go to 1 day, it's going to take me down to today's action on Tesla. 5 day, the past 5 days on Tesla. 1 month on Tesla. Cool, great, awesome. These are the intervals, I guess, of time horizons that we have access to at the bottom of our screen. I'm going to go back to the 1 year, 1 day, and keep it there, and then I like to zoom it in from there. On the bottom as well, I should mention, if you were to hover over on this, on the right-hand side, it's actually, I guess it's more so on the y-axis on the right-hand side, there is an A and an L. Okay, A auto fits the data to your screen when it's selected. If I unselect that, I can zoom out. I can move this around. It's cool, great, and it won't auto fit the data to my screen. But if I click on the A, boom, it auto adjusts to make it more visually, I should say appealing, but just easier to look at and understand. L is logarithmic charts or non-logarithmic charts. I personally don't really. I tend to look at logarithmic more, but not a humongous deal for me. It's not that big of a difference. When you're zooming things out, they will definitely look different. So for example, if I zoom out Tesla like this, we're currently looking at a logarithmic chart. If I unselect that, it changes the look of the chart. See? All right, so now that the basics are out of the way, we can start talking about more of the advanced customizations. So if we are looking at a screen that looks like this, you might see some things on this screen that maybe aren't popping up for you. I will hopefully be able to cover a lot of those in this video. If I cannot, leave a comment below, and I will certainly make a video or answer the comment with a simple answer if it is a simple answer to be had. TradingView, again, like I said, has multiple plans. The link below this video will save you $15 off any of the paid plans if you're looking to upgrade to those at any time. Highly recommend using that to save money, but you don't have to. It is also an affiliate link, so you would be supporting the channel here directly if you use it, or if you use somebody else's, you'd be supporting them, just so you're aware of that. But you do get a discount on your TradingView. So up in the top right, next to where it says the name of my layout, we have the option to change the layout setup. This is kind of like the, I should say, the most interesting or visually interesting piece, because it's going to change the way this completely looks on our screen. So if I click on this, it's going to drop me down to 16 different layout options, which might be a lot. It might be too much. Depends upon how you see things and what you're looking for. If I jump down, what you'll see is we have 1 through 16. And when it says the number next to the different layout options is going to show you how many chart windows that are going to populate. So 2 means you can now look at 2 charts at the same time. And then there's really just 2 ways to view that, kind of a vertical or a horizontal view. Here's what the vertical would look like, and then here's what the horizontal would look like. Now, personally, based on the size of my monitor, how I view things, I would like the more vertical, but it could be it's up to you, okay? Now, maybe you also like to look at the horizontal view because you have, your watch list open all the time, and so now it shrinks your screen, so it makes it a little more fitting, and that's up to you. This is something that you can't really customize, I should say. You can obviously customize the watch list, and I'll talk about more about that stuff here in a second, but you can't really always keep this up. All you do is you can populate it with this tab on the right-hand side or unpopulate. It will just expand the charts on your screen, or it'll move back to here. I almost always have it open because I like to look at the charts or see the numbers, how the day is doing on my watch list, my what's going on, just so I can get a sense of percentages while also peeking at the charts too. So just something you obviously you can change the exact amount of distance, for example, of each different chart or layout on the screen, just as you can do so on the watch list side here. Just really toggle it across to the sizing of your choosing. You can obviously do that, but you really have to just click on it every single time you want to populate it to your screen or not. I almost always have it clicked. That's just me. So jumping down, if you go deeper, I believe where I recall last I saw was 6 charts. If you did not have a premium plan, you could at max put 4 charts on your screen. So if you had the higher end plans, the higher paid plans, you can have 6. What's the workaround? Well, if you have multiple monitors, you can pull up multiple monitors, open up multiple tabs, and technically speaking, yeah, you can have, a couple different tabs of 4 charts per tab, technically. I don't know if that's been, I guess, fixed from a TradingView's perspective, but that is technically a workaround if you wanted to. It's something that what I have done in the past. I have a premium plan, so I don't have to worry about this anymore. What I've done in the past is I've had, my main chart here, and then on a separate screen, I pulled up a different tab with other charts. It's just what I've done personally. I don't like more than, 6 is a lot as it is. I don't like having more than 4 to 6 on my screens, but if you've got a really big screen or you have a separate monitor that you're like, hey, I want to just leave this up so I can kind of monitor a bunch of different charts, add as many as you want. Here's how 8 would look. And again, like I said before, each of these is its own little box, but you can still customize exactly how wide, how narrow. So, well, these are all uniform. I could change that. I can make this one smaller, this one bigger, have a huge one in the middle, have some smaller ones on the side, and customize it however I want to see fit. So this is where it gets fun because you can completely customize this to your liking. And so it really is nice. Couple things to talk about at the bottom. What I wanted, I can't look at things that are not nicely organized. There we go. So let me go back down to this. So where it says symbol, interval, crosshair, time, date range, this is where you can sync things up. So the symbol changes on all charts within layout, meaning if I select this, I click on, let's say, the bottom left layout, go to the top left, and I want to change the symbol. I go to SPY. Every chart will now change to SPY. I don't know why you'd want to do that, but I guess you could if you have different time frames and horizons, which actually, no, I do know why you'd want to do that, because maybe you want to look at different time horizons on every different, chart, but you want to see the same symbol. So totally, could be done easily. Just make sure you understand that is going to sync all those up. The interval. So for example, if I change the interval to, let's say, a 3-month, or let's say I go to a 1-hour time frame, all these charts immediately go to a 1-hour time frame. Okay. So I can get rid of that if I don't want that. Crosshair, time, and the date range. Self-explanatory, something to mess around with. All I have is crosshair selected here. Personally, I'm going to go back to interval here so we can change things back to the daily time frame. Personally, I don't mess with this too much, but I see the needs as to why. I don't need it for myself, but I see the needs as to why you'd want to potentially have some of these things either checked or not checked to view different things in different ways. Okay, cool. So now we got this. What I'm going to do is see where it says save. Okay, I can go on a Mac, it's Command S. So Command S is going to save it, all changes save, or if I start to change things up, it'll have a little option underneath my layout name that'll say save. Click on that, it'll save your layout. So you're good to go. You don't have to worry. It saves your progress, so you can kind of come back to this and check. And it's a long experience, long video. I will leave timestamps below just so you can kind of jump around to these things. But this is something that, of course, you can come back to. You can always customize as time goes on and change things. Next thing we're going to talk about is settings. So see on the back how we have the name of the symbol and the time frame that we're looking at. If I go up to the top right, this is the setting icon, the gear icon up here. I will have the ability to change that. So where it says watermark, uncheck that or check that. Now, it's only going to change this on the section or the chart that I select. So for example, if I jump in here, watermark is now gone on just the top left because that is what is highlighted in blue. That was my last clicked on chart. Okay. You might want to do this on a 1 or on a more simple setup. So let's go do that really quick. Let's jump back here, go to a 1 and go back to the settings tab, adjust that, go back to settings so we can see it a little bit easier. Watermark, boom, there's SPY. And you can see it in the background. I can customize the color of the watermark, the opacity. I find personally, actually, what did I have before? I don't even know. Let me cancel that so it goes back to what I had. I'm going to go back to watermark. I find that white 15% gets me just enough to where I can see it, but not enough to where it's like overwhelmingly in the way. I've had people tell me in the past, it's so annoying, get rid of it. I like it. I'm going to leave it up. I don't really care. But that's, again, personal preference. Why? Because if I'm on a live stream, if I'm making a video, if I'm explaining something and I'm talking about different symbols, you're probably not going to be able to see it because you would have to look at the top left and it would be super small up in the top left to see the symbol. And so for demonstration purposes, I like to have the watermark in the background so you can see it. That's personally what I like to do. Okay? A lot more customizations when it comes to that. We have different text sizes, navigation, margins. I'm not going to mess. It's going to take us way too long if we kind of get into all that stuff, but you have abilities to kind of customize further details of the chart. Symbols, the way that the candlesticks are colored in, you can change and adjust. Your time zone, the precision, adjusting for dividends is something you can definitely add. For example, slightly changes the chart. Now, you may not notice it that much, but it does change the chart a little bit on SPY. Status line. Here's where we get a little more, I guess, interesting. So see where I say where it says logo? That's the top of my screen. So the S up at the top left, super, super small. That is the logo. Title up in the top left as well. It tells me what I'm looking at. The Spider S&P 500 ETF Trust. Open market status, closed market status. That's this right here. Again, I don't need to get through all this stuff, but it's there. Chart values at the top right or the top of the screen. So if you were like open, O for open, H for high, L for low, C for close, percentage, and volume, that's that detail at the top, or I guess they have volume and then bar change values are also selected. Boom. Cool. Last day change as well. You can add that too. Indicator titles, values, and background I have selected. So for example, when we add indicators, it'll add titles to that and the value. So let me go ahead and do that really quick to show you an example so you can see exactly what I'm talking about as we're getting a little more advanced. So up on the left, underneath where it says buy, sell, we have this little one, show indicator legend. It only has volume. So if I go up to the indicators at the top, which we talked about before, now we're going to get to the details, and I wanted to add some of my favorites, which all I do to find my favorites is I can either search for things that I already know, VWAP, Bollinger Bands, whatever, or I could simply go through the technical indicators, strategies, profiles, patterns, whatever I want to do here on TradingView, find things I think are cool, and then star them so that then they pop up as my favorites. I already did that, so I don't want to waste your time. I'm going to go ahead and add the visible range volume profile because I like the visible range volume profile, and I use it a lot. I'm also going to add, let's see, what else do I like to add? The simple moving average, okay? Two things. I don't use the moving average very much, but I think it's great for demonstration purposes. Okay, cool. So we got that. Now it pops up 3 indicators up on the left that we can now customize, which we will do so in a second. I'll show you how to do that. Back to my settings, though. I'm now going to go back in here. And so see where it says we have indicators, titles, and then values. So underneath or on the left, see how we have VRVP, vol, SMA. If I get rid of titles, that will go away. If I get rid of, or I click on values, they show me the values of the current indicators where they currently stand. Nice. It's kind of cool. Whatever. Up to you. So we did that. We did this. We did the scale. We didn't do the scales and lines. Currency and unit always visible. These are not, this is getting into the weeds, to be honest with you. Nothing that you have to go too deep into, to be honest, but these are all available customizations as well. Trading. Let's go buy, sell buttons at the top. I don't use that, so I'm going to get rid of that actually. So we have so underneath the symbol, there was a sell and a buy. I don't use that. I'll show you why you'd use that in a second, but I don't use that. And now we have more appearance. Positions. If I have open positions, open, this is useful. I don't currently use that feature, but it is available to you. Alerts, alert lines, only active alerts can be shown, and then you can have the volume, which actually, to be honest, I should lower this down because I didn't realize you can even do that because it's super loud whenever it pops up for me. And then there's events, dividends, which are at the bottom right here. See a little bit of the D. Dividends, stock splits, earnings. It tells you all that. I love to know when the earnings are coming up. So on an individual stock, that's always select. I need that because I do not want to be holding a position through earnings. Definitely. Okay, cool. So inside of here, you're looking like, okay, great. Basics are covered. We got our, we understand kind of the basic settings. We can even customize settings inside of our indicators. So for example, the SMA, we can hide it with this little eye symbol. We have settings and then a couple other features. Source code, we can remove it, or we can even do more, which allows this drop down to pop up. I'm going to go to the settings gear icon inside of here. And so underneath this, I can change and customize. I like to look at the 50 period moving average. So I'm going to change that to 50. I'm going to change the style to thicken the line a bit. So go in here and let's thicken that line up nicely. There we go. A couple more things you can do. And then visibility is where I want to get into. You can customize this on different time horizons and only show it on different time horizons. So for example, I like looking at the 50 period moving average only on the 1 day chart. So I'm going to get rid of it on all these time frames outside of the 1 day. Okay, click on OK. When I see this blue line, when I go to the 4-hour time frame, it's not there anymore. Cool. That is useful because I don't want to have clutter on my charts if I don't need it or it's not useful to me on different time frames. Something definitely to utilize in your own trading and investing. I'm going to jump over to the VRVP really quick over here. I'm just going to customize this, show you quickly how I do it. To my liking, go to Style. I'm going to go to, I don't need the point of control. I'm going to get rid of that. And then I'm going to color these all the same just because I like keeping it the same. You can have value area up and down. I don't use that. I don't need that. I just want to see where the biggest volume spikes have been and then drop the opacity down maybe to like 35, 30%, something like that. That seems to work good for me. And I'm okay with that. And that's just kind of a rough way I like to look at things. So some quick customizations there. Again, play with this how you see fit for your own liking. At the top of my screen, I'm going to click on the save up here. And now we are all good to go. Changes have been saved, which is nice. I can toggle, by the way, through different layouts that I have set if I want to on the top of my screen. Now, I was talking about this trading feature up at the top right, or the top left, I should say. And you might be wondering, okay, well, back in the settings, there was this option for trading. Like, what's all this? Well, that's funny that you may ask, because if I go down to the bottom of the screen, we have Stock Screener. Cool. I can open that nicely, which is easy. It's kind of cool, but we have a video on that. The Pine Editor, Strategy Tester, Replay Trading. So if you want to go back and practice your trading, it's like the replay feature up here. Or Trading Panel. If I click on Trading Panel and I open this up, maximize my panel, what I am able to do is connect to a large list of brokers. So right here are some of the most popular, but there's even a bigger list of brokers that you can connect to TradingView. So what does this mean? If you have an account with some of these brokers or any of these brokers or one of these brokers that you want to connect, you can connect, for example, your Webull account or your Tradevate account or your Interactive Brokers account. Connect one of these accounts, log into it, and once you do so, you will be able to trade through TradingView on your brokerage platform. These connections are pretty seamless, and if you are not a scalper, I would recommend using this if you don't want to trade on your brokerage app or web platform. It's pretty cool. I chart all my stocks on TradingView. It's so nice to be able to trade through your broker if you do all of your charting here on TradingView. It's so nice not having to go to this page, to that page, open the app up, open up the different trading platform widgets, or open up the trading platform separately on your other computer. It's so nice. So you have that ability, and we have other videos if you have some questions on that. I'll click on paper trading so you can see, but I can connect a paper trading account, which TradingView allows you to do. We've got videos on that as well, and I could trade through the charts with paper money to practice if I want to. Cool. Very, very nice, and a nice feature to add. We covered the basics. We covered how to chart things. We covered indicators. We covered some of the tools, the time frames. We covered the different layout styles and opportunities that you have to create multiple charts inside your own layout. If you have any questions, leave them down below. And if you are looking to get a new TradingView account or you're looking to save a few bucks, the link below this video will save you $15 on any of the paid plans. Again, leave those questions down below. And if you're looking to take your trading to the next level by tracking your own trading data, we have a completely free training linked below as well if you are ever interested. Thanks so much for hanging out, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.